tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Happy Sober Sunday, everyone. Good morning. Happy Trudger's Day. I'm announcing it Trudger's Day. I just came up with it. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, good old National Trudger's Day, right? What does trudging? Should we look up what trudging means? Let's do it. What definition of trudging?
Here's the definition of trudge. Walk slowly and with heavy steps, typically because of exhaustion or harsh conditions.
It's not quite it, right? What is the simple mean of trudging? I didn't ask what trudge was. I asked what trudging was. All right? To walk slowly with a lot of effort. So what we're doing is we're taking our time. Okay? Trudging does not give us an excuse to not do the work, though. That's not what it means. What it means is we're going through something hard together. That's what it means. We're doing something arduous together with a heavy load, but, you know, I'll help you carry your load, man. See, I don't have as much of a load to carry as you do anymore. So I'm able to do that, all right? All right. So, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even really want to do this today. I was thinking about taking the day off, but I figured I'd go ahead and do it, but we'll see how long it lasts. We'll get it done right. Gotta stay consistent. I also don't want to blow my streak at 92 weeks. Is that where I'm at now? Let's go take a look. Let's take a quick look here. All right. My most recent, which would have been yesterday, 92 weeks. Yeah, we're still at 92 weeks. Tomorrow will probably start at 93. So usually somebody's here by now, but I guess today everybody's kind of busy. It is during church time. So welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch, we are doing today's daily reflection, but it leads to a lot of places. Leads to As Bill Sees It, and it also takes us to the 12 by 12. All right. So we're going to start in As Bill Sees It, page 8. All right, a new life. Not sure why they put this one in, but we're going to go ahead and read it, do it anyway. A new life in sobriety, all that we are expect to find a spiritual awakening? No. Sobriety is only a bare beginning. It is only the first gift of the first awakening. All right. And that's going to happen before you finish steps, probably. You're probably going to have your spiritual experience before the end of the steps. Kind of depends on who you are, things like that. That's the first one. Well, the obsession being lifted. And it's going to be hard to do the rest of the steps if that obsession isn't lifted. It is possible. Dr. Bob stated that for the first 2.5 years of his sobriety, he still craved alcohol, but nowhere was he too yielding. Right? I think we all get those thoughts. They're usually readily supplanted by something else. But he still had his obsession. Not sure how that worked out, right? If more gifts are to be received, our awakening has to go on. As it does go on, we find that bit by bit, we can discard the old life, the one that did not work, for a new life that can and does work under any conditions whatsoever. Well, it says whatever. I don't know why I put so in there. I think it just sounds better whatsoever, but it changes it. So we'll go with whatever. 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 All right. So what I say is 12 steps are a good start. Certainly are. And clear away the, it definitely starts to clear things away for us, correct? All right, just double checking chat here. All right. Regardless of the worldly success or failure, regardless of pain or joy, regardless of sickness or health or even death itself, a new life of endless possibilities can be lived if we're willing to continue our awakening through the practice of AA's 12 steps. How do we continue our awakening? It is through step 11 that we continue our awakening. If you are newer to Alcoholics Anonymous, you can work any step that starts with a 1. That means 1, 10, 11, and 12. Yes, you can. All right. 10 is just really, you know, you made a mistake, you admit to it right then and there, and you move on. 11 is the practice of prayer and meditation to get closer to your higher power, to have a better understanding of God's will. Step 12 is service work. It is where we help other people. We go out of our way to help somebody else out. You sit there and say, I don't know the program, but let's say you have 3 weeks. Let's say you got 30 days and a new person comes in. Well, you stayed sober 30 days and you're probably going to be able to tell them how you stayed sober those 30 days. Oh, all right. So now I'm going to read one little part here, and then we're going to get to the 12 by 12 page 98. So page 98. So this part, it comes from a letter in 1946. A clear light seems to fall upon us when we open our eyes. Since our blindness is caused by our own defects, we must first deeply realize that what they are. Constructive meditation is the first requirement for each new step in our spiritual growth. Okay. And that just means listening. Meditation in this case means listening. There's a lot of different ways that you can meditate. Going to a meeting and listening while others are sharing, that doesn't mean you go to the meeting and just listen. That is not what that means. Okay. Just listening are for people that, are very, very new, driving a car. if you're on Zoom and in a dangerous situation, but, at the very least, claim your seat. It's tough. We know. But there's something about raising your hand and talking for a few minutes about your own experience that's going to give you more courage. It'll give you more courage. You know what the number one fear in the world is? Public speaking. You know what the second one is? Death. People would rather die than speak publicly. Of course, they haven't gone through the pains of dying, so is that really fair? Is that a real fair comparison? I don't think it really is. Personally, I thrive on speaking in public. If I know what I'm talking about, I can get embarrassed. It doesn't happen very often, though. It's because I open myself up. You do this for a little while, let people judge you, or not judge you, but come on here and, say what they want, things like that. Anyway, so we're going to start at the bottom of page 97. I did so many things to embarrass myself that I just don't embarrass easy. I used to get embarrassed real easy. You know how that changed? Because I confronted my snakes. Somebody brings up something from my past like it's going to hurt. Sorry. I don't do that anymore. Not as much, right? I'm human. It happens. Everybody like my Purple Rain shirt? You're probably like, Most people that don't know me would be surprised that I love Prince. To the rest of you, not a surprise at all. I just don't come across as that kind of person. Anyway, I listen to a lot of pop. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start on the bottom of page 97 for anybody that would like to follow along. Everybody's being very quiet this morning. Okay. I keep double checking chat because I'm making sure that chat is working. So, all right. Those of us who have come to make regular use of prayer would no more do without it than the refuse of air, food, or sunshine. I pray every morning. Not only do I pray every morning, but I pray throughout the day. Okay. And for the same reason, when we refuse air, light, or food, the body suffers. And when we turn away from meditation and prayer, we likewise deprive our minds, our emotions, and our intuitions of vitally needed support. As the body can fail its purpose for lack of nourishment, so can the soul. We all need the light of God's reality, the nourishment of His strength, and the atmosphere of His grace to an amazing extent. The facts of AA life confirm this ageless truth. Let's look up the definition of grace. What is the definition of grace?
Here's the definition of grace: simple elegance or refinement of movement.
Simple, elegant. God's grace is simple and elegant. Right? So what is the Bible's definition of grace? Let's grab that one, see if it gives us another view. In the Bible, grace is defined as unearned, undeserved favor or kindness, primarily referring to God's love and generosity towards humanity. I get what they're saying. So, unearned or undeserved favor or kindness. So, what is God's first grace for us? It's the elimination of the obsession for alcohol, and you did nothing to earn it. You didn't. No, you did not. That is a grace bestowed by God. It is a gift. You might think, "Oh, but I did earn it." You think years of destroying God's world is a payment. No. Payment is due. I know I'm sounding a little weird, but payment is due. What's the payment? Pass what you learn to other people. That's all he's asking. To be a good example. See, we are a step ahead of our favors from God. That's why we feel responsible. That's why we feel like why passing it on. That is the main reason why we cannot keep the precious gift of sobriety unless we give it away. Because it's part of God's grace. It's part of the deal. Yeah. The devil asks you to sign a piece of paper. God just wants your attention. That's it. Right? Is he going to make really hard terms for you? No. Okay. I don't ever want to hear people saying, God tested my sobriety today. The fuck he did. He doesn't want that for you. He ain't going to test you. He doesn't have time to test you. At least, okay, let me rephrase that. My higher power would never do that to me. You had a choice whether or not you walk down the alcohol aisle at the store. You had a choice, and you made the choice to go down it. That wasn't God. The problems that you have, that is not God tempting you to drink. No, that is not. You think he knows you can handle it. Does God, I haven't heard this in a while, but I'll hear somebody every now and again say, God never gives me more than I can handle. I do not agree with that. I don't agree with that. Sometimes God gives me more than I can handle, at least he did in the beginning. Could you handle your alcoholism all by your lonesome? No, you needed other people in your life. You needed God's children. You needed your higher power, right? Right there, there's proof in the pudding. Sometimes God will give me more than I can handle, so I reach out to his children. He did that in the beginning. What was he doing? He was getting used to me reaching out to his children for help. Now I'm just used to it. Now he doesn't give me problems beyond my control because I go to his children. There we go. Right? There is a direct linkage among self-examination, meditation, and prayer. Taken separately, these practices can bring much relief and benefit, but when they are logically related and interwoven, the result is an unshakable foundation for life. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are your foundation steps. Work steps 1, 2, and 3 every day. Every day. I do it. That's the first thing I do. And I do it through prayer. I work on my foundation. Why is that? Because there are going to be some days when all you have is your foundation. You won't have anything else. And if it's solid, then the day can still be decent. You'll hear people say back to basics. That means steps 1, 2, just, if you're having a bad day, just go back to basics. What is grace? Remember what grace is. Maybe give yourself a little grace. Keep it simple. See, even the word grace, well, you didn't quite know what it meant until we looked it up. You got to look this stuff up. I forgot. It was news to me again. I know I've looked that word up before, but see, I can't remember everything. It's okay to have to look words up. It's all right. In fact, it used to be a regular thing. One of the things that I'd really like to do in the grassroots is, let's say that, if we have a reading picked out before, we can go through and grab the words that people don't quite understand, and then we can post what those definitions are while the reading is going on so people can better understand the reading. Yeah. Incomprehensible demoralization. How about that one? You know what it means? Constitution. This is the big one I hear people mistake often. Constitutionally incapable. Okay. It's in How It Works. We read How It Works quite often. And it says some of them are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. And people are like, I'm just constitutionally incapable. I'm like, it's some kind of trait. No, it means denial. It means we got to get out of our denial, that we're denying that we're being dishonest. That's what that means. It's just a fancy way of saying denial. That's it. Doesn't need to be, a mental illness. Denial is not a mental illness. It's a character defect. Right? All right. Now and then, we may be granted a glimpse of that ultimate reality, which is God's kingdom. That has not happened to me yet. Well, maybe it has. I don't know. I don't know what God's kingdom looks like. I know I can see the beauty I know I can see the forest for the trees now. I know that when I choose to, I can see beauty in this world. Yeah. Being kind to others, even if I'm upset. Yesterday I was kind of upset about something, but I went and talked. There's no reason for me to be Mr. Grumpy Pants. Right? And we will be comforted and assured that our own destiny in that realm will be secure for so long as we try, however faltering, to find and do the will of our Creator. Let's just put it plainly, okay? This is why I'm not a preacher. This is exactly why right here, you're going to fuck things up. I swear a lot. I remember when I first met Pastor Marcia, and she was on the board at Henderson Church, and we were starting an AA meeting, and they were asking, "Well, what's Dion like?" And she told them, "Well, Dion's a bit salty." It's a perfect description for me. I'm a little salty. I am. Right. But you got to put swear words in the right place. All right. So, however faltering, I must do. This is what you do not do when you mess something up. God, I'm so stupid, fucking stupid. We can't do that stuff. Oh no, you made a mistake. Got to turn those mistakes into opportunities, into learning experiences. If you can do that, you're ahead of a lot of people in the world, because a lot of people can't do that, even non-alcoholics. You don't need alcohol to have low self-esteem, right? So we're searching. It's okay to make a mistake as long as you are willing to correct it. Right. Like in the beginning, like, in my early sobriety, maybe I did, in a week's time, I did, Monday through Thursday, I did everything right. On Friday, I fucked something up. Now my whole week's blown. No, I don't do it that way anymore. No. You'll get past that with practice. I'm bringing it up because I know that it goes on, and early sobriety happens to all of us. What about all the great things that I did? Well, we've had months of or years of pointing the finger and blame and shame and everything else, and the whole family's sick. It's not just going to be you. It's going to be everybody in the family. They're used to acting that way. So it's going to take some time. Okay? Screw guilt. Don't need it. As we have seen, self-searching is the means by which we bring new vision, action, and grace to bear upon the dark and negative side of our natures. It is the development of that kind of humility that makes it possible for us to receive God's help. Yet, it is only a step. We will want to go further. You know what you do when God gives you His grace, or maybe God gives you the gift for the day or whatever. You know what you do? You double down. Do it again. You just double down on that. All right. We will want the good that is in all of us, even the worst of us, to flower and grow. All right. Is there a worst of us? Not really. That person's worst and that person's worst is a matter of perception for everybody. What you may figure is a worst person may not be the same concept that I have for what a bad person or a worse person would be. We gotta be very careful on these. I would find that name calling, actually. Well, you're the worst of us, but even you see how judgmental? Kind of judgmental, right? Most certainly, but we do want everybody to have the opportunity to flower and grow. Many of you know that over the years I've done some work in the field with people I did not feel was doing the right thing, and just kind of put it the way it's supposed to be, right? But sorry, I was okay. Now they've done some things that I think deserve jail time. Okay. But I would rather they changed. I'd rather they changed See how we're already way too far in this whole judgy thing. Okay? I would rather they change. Why would I say something like that? To make me look better. We're gonna call this shit what it is, man. Okay? It's still my thought process. I'd still rather they changed. I'd rather that they found the light for them also. You know, but in their perception, they are doing the right thing. They believe that. They believe that they are doing the right thing, even if they're, breaking the law or whatever. They think they're doing the right thing. And I think I'm doing the right thing. There we go. That's all we can really land on. All right. Sorry, I forgot to take my meds, so I did do it real quick. All right. Most certainly we shall need bracing air and abundance of food. But first of all, we shall want sunlight. You ever step out in the sun and it just felt really good because you were lacking vitamin D? Yes, it's happened. You're an alcoholic. Your vitamin deficiency was very low. Right? It's the same kind of thing, except it's for the soul. We're in a battle for our soul, man. You want to know why God uses alcoholics to help his other children, even the non-alcoholic ones? Because then people can see, oh, look how bad they were and they changed. Maybe I can do that too. It's one reason why. I help a lot of non-alcoholic people all the time. Sure I do. I can help anybody really that has spiritual malady. There we go. But I work with alcoholics first. And in a lot of cases, maybe I might be a spiritual advisor, but when it comes to the mental health portion now, that's out of my purview. Okay? I can only do it so far. Right? And that's okay too. It's like leading somebody to the door of willingness. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. Nothing much can grow in the dark. Meditation is our first step out into the sun. All right. Meditation is listening. How you want to do that is up to you. I'm not going to go over the ways that you can meditate today. So, opening up to change. I've been given. So, what we're going to do is we're going to read the rest of today's daily reflection here. I've been given a daily reprieve contingent upon my spiritual condition, provided I seek progress, not perfection. There we go. See, I do not agree with this. Okay. Yes, it's provided I seek progress, not perfect. I'm going to continue seeking perfection. I know it's just progress, but I'm going to continue seeking it. I just don't agree with that. Step 6 is very much about that. All right. Now, you got to watch for the progress. We claim spiritual progress, not spiritual perfection. What that's saying is, I'm not going to claim that I'm perfect. I'm going to claim that I'm making progress. That's what that means. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean I seek progress, not perfection. No, I'm seeking perfection. I am seeking God's will, which is perfect. That's how I feel about it. That's my experience. For them, it may be different. But I'm going to tell you something. They're missing out on some gifts by doing it that way. You can still stay sober. You can do a lot of other things, but you will not move to the next level of enlightenment if you do it this way. All right. To become ready for change, I practice willingness, opening myself up to possibilities of change. Willingness is always the key. If I realize there are defects that hinder my usefulness in AA and towards others, I become ready by meditating and receiving direction. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 58. To let go and let God, I need only surrender my old ways to Him. I no longer fight, nor do I try to control, but simply believe that with God's help, I am changed, and affirming this belief makes me ready. I empty myself to be full of awareness, light, and love, and I hope to face each day with hope. The rest of that was really good. All right. It's going to be it for today. Lazy days and Sundays. Today's a lazy day, and it's Sunday. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And